Un nouveau scandale autour des idéologies LGBT dispensées à l'école fait parler de lui. À l'école primaire Marcel Laffitan à Versailles, les jeunes enfants de CM1 seulement âgés de 9 ans ont eu droit à un cours de poésie un peu particulier. David Dumortier a en effet partagé avec la classe son ouvrage « Mehdi met du rouge à lèvres ». On peut y lire notamment un petit garçon s'habille en fille. Quand on le surprend, il rougit. En plus, il a des manières de fille. Elles sortent toutes seules. L'auteur est présenté comme dans son ouvrage travesti.
Jusqu'à présent, le trouble de l'identité de genre concernait surtout des adultes. Serge Effez, psychiatre, reçoit régulièrement des personnes qui se disent transsexuelles. Mais depuis quelques années, cette souffrance qui remonte à l'enfance s'exprime de plus en plus tôt. Serge Effez reçoit aussi de très jeunes patients. Cela a fait la une des journaux en Belgique. Un enfant de 7 ans est scolarisé dans cette école sous l'apparence d'une petite fille. L'an dernier, San était un petit garçon. Qui pourrait imaginer que derrière le visage souriant de cette petite habillée de rose se cache en réalité un enfant de sexe masculin?
Tot morgen op tijd, hè? Ja. Sandy, salut, hè?
On va où?
Faire les magasins.
Ouais.
Tu vas bien? Personne ne s'est moqué de toi à l'école aujourd'hui? Non? Personne?
San était pourtant un petit garçon comme les autres.
On a très vite remarqué que San avait une manière de marcher particulière. Elle voulait se mettre du vernis à ongles. Elle réclamait du maquillage. San a toujours préféré les poupées aux voitures.
Ce qu'Eddie et Nicole, les parents de San, ont pris d'abord pour un jeu d'enfant, est un trouble profond de l'identité de genre.
Maman, qu'est-ce qu'on va acheter?
Je sais pas, une belle jupe peut-être? On va essayer une belle jupe?
Un gosse, ça doit faire ses expériences. Pour évoluer, il a besoin de ça. Mais à un moment donné, ça allait trop loin. Il ne s'agissait pas simplement de faire son expérience, ça allait trop loin.
Ah non, je passe pas par là.
Tu ne veux pas qu'on te reperce les oreilles?
Ah non!
Regarde, c'est beau!
Oh, les boucles d'oreilles en forme de fraise.
En avril 2012, en rentrant de l'école, San m'a demandé « Maman, si je suis une fille, tu m'aimeras encore ?» Je lui ai répondu que oui, bien sûr. Mais ce n'est pas la question, tu es un garçon. Et San n'a pas insisté. Et le soir, ici, dans le salon, elle m'a demandé « Maman, si j'ai pas de pénis, comment ce sera? C'est possible de l'enlever ?» Après, j'ai dit à mon mari qu'il y avait quelque chose d'anormal et qu'il fallait se faire aider.
San est suivi par un psychiatre. À chacun son cerveau donc. Et il faut chercher ailleurs l'origine de la dysphorie de genre. Retour donc chez le psychiatre. Mais le spécialiste de l'âme n'a pas d'explication à apporter. Le mystère de la transidentité reste entier.
Les petits garçons qui se sentent psychiquement être des petites filles, leur génétique est normale, leur corps est normal, leurs hormones sont normales, leur corps est normal, sauf exception, mais c'est pas pour la plupart. Et les filles de la même façon. Donc c'est dans la tête que ça se passe. Mais on aura bien compris que ce qui se passe dans la tête, c'est très mêlé à ce qui se passe dans le corps et dans les relations sociales avec les autres et la façon dont ils vous assignent ou pas dans une place ou dans une autre place.
Un jour, dans un magasin, elle m'a demandé « Maman, je peux essayer une jupe ?» J'ai répondu « Non, c'est pas possible. »
Mes vêtements?
Dans un autre magasin, elle m'a encore supplié. Cette fois, j'ai dit « D'accord, choisis une jupe. » Elle était si contente. J'ai demandé « Qu'est-ce que papa va dire ?»« Rien du tout, m'a-t-elle répondu. Vous savez bien que je suis une fille. »
Depuis 1 an, San est autorisée à s'habiller en fille.
Papa, va-t'en!
Ah, c'est bon, je m'en vais.
Pourquoi tu as voulu être une fille?
Pour mettre des robes et des jupes. Et aussi organiser des fêtes avec mes copines dans ma chambre.
Ses parents ont pris seuls cette incroyable décision.
I think she thinks that I'm well.
I think you look like a girl. I think you are a girl.
That's a baby, remember? There's pictures.
That's true.
Yeah.
When you're an infant, to you, you look like a girl. As a parent, you want your child to be happy. You want them to be as happy as they can. And we could clearly see that Thomas was a very sad boy. We've come to find out that if you give your child the opportunity to be who they are, they know very well who they are.
Try to remember back when you were a kid, when you were 3 years old, 4 years old. Who were you? Were you a boy because you looked like a boy? Or were you a boy because that's who you felt like you were?
There's no age where you're too young to know your gender because it comes from within. We're at the Gender Spectrum Family Conference, and we've spent 3 days with families talking about all aspects of gender and transgender children. We do have MRI evidence, brain scan evidence to show that a child who is born in a male body, for all purposes is a boy, but actually feels herself to be a girl, has the brain structure and of a girl.
The MRI test specifically is not helpful in making a decision whether you're a male or a female when you're a child. The child's opinion about what they want to do in life, the child's feeling about what gender they are, you need to work with the child and the family to figure out what should be done with this child.
When we adopted Tammy at 2, she had very, very, very little language because of developmental delays.
In elementary school, it was actually kindergarten that she went to, and it was a center for infant deaf, and she was taught more sign language, and we were taught more sign language. We actually went to school also there to learn sign language, and so we'd understand what she was saying. Tammy, that's Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. Oh.
Yeah. So what we've done for Tammy is to put her on hormone blockers. It's only been about a month, and when she's ready, she'll be able to decide which way she's going to go through puberty. She will have either female hormones, or she'll stop the hormone blockers and become a man.
And that's what the blocker does, is buys her time to mature, and time for us to kind of catch up with her, because she's running this fast.
You make the decision on when to start hormone blockers based on the puberty of the child. Very few boys undergo puberty at age 11. Most start at age 12, 13, 14. And once they begin puberty, then you decide to start hormone blockers.
So I know parents whose children told them at the age of 3 or 4 or 5 or 8, whatever the age was, and if the parents weren't able to support their child in that gender, the common scenario is that that child disappears.
Tammy leads the way.
Yeah, she's the one we listen to.
We have to allow Tammy to lead the way because we're not transgender. And I don't necessarily think we completely understand it.
Dans son article de présentation, CNN cite le psychologue Kenneth Zucker, un spécialiste qui avertit que la très grande majorité des enfants transgenres ne voudront plus l'être en grandissant. Cependant, contre les accusations de psychiatres qui remettent en cause l'adoption par les lesbiennes, CNN prétend que les grands frères de Tammy sont sportifs et virils. Voici Rebecca, le grand frère viril et sportif de Tammy.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I have a special guest here. You've probably seen her on my YouTube videos. Hey, Tammy, come here. Tammy, tell the camera just something simple. Like, I love Rebecca. I love her YouTube videos. Don't you kiss me! Don't you kiss me! how disrespectful. Always just be coming up to me like 22 because you kissed me. You know, I'm not lesbian. I'm a normal girl who's doing normal things in life, and I just think there's a problem. I love you, Tammy, but we got to work on not kissing so much. Okay. Oh, there it is.
Born a boy, now identified as a girl. A 6-year-old from Colorado now at the center of a media frenzy in a lawsuit for being transgender. 7 News reporter Mark Stewart discovering the struggle some families face.
Born as a boy, 6-year-old Koi is being raised as a little girl.
As we kept cutting her hair and getting her boys' clothes and boys' toys, she sunk into a deeper depression.
Doctors say Koi is transgendered. Physically, he's a boy, but emotionally identifies as a girl. His family is fighting to allow him to use the girls' bathroom at his school in Fountain.
Infuriated by the bathroom ban, Catherine and Jeremy lodged a discrimination complaint with the state of Colorado and started homeschooling their children. The case has become an unlikely rallying point for transgender rights.
I don't even see why the school thinks it's their responsibility to try to talk about Koi's body at all. It's completely inappropriate to me. They're not her doctors. They should not be talking about her body. She was 2 here, I think. That's just who she was. It's who she's always been. Really, as soon as she could talk, she was showing us and telling us that she felt like a girl.
So I want to be, when I grow up, a worker, a firefighter, and I want to be a cowboy girl. You can't be.
Eli has taken female hormones since the age of 15. 3 months ago, she went under the knife, becoming one of the youngest people ever to undergo gender reassignment surgery.
Does it feel strange that you now don't have something that you've had for 17 years? It's been a part of your body?
Strangely, no. I was expecting to, but it just feels natural this way.
Eli, I haven't seen you in ages.
Eli hasn't seen her surgeon, Marcy Bowers, since her operation.
Okay, so breast growth, did that come along a little bit since? Not really?
A pioneer in her field, Marcy herself was born as Mark. She's regarded as one of the leading transgender surgeons in the US.
Very good, actually.
Are you seeing more transgender patients, particularly young people and children?
Well, we are seeing more, but it's because society is becoming more permissive and not pushing people into the closet or worse into antisocial behavior or chemical dependency or suicide. We do know still that 50% of transgender youth attempt or commit suicide. And so that's still a troubling statistic.
These days, Walt Heyer is a man's man and a deep skeptic, particularly when it comes to transgender surgery.
Most of the people suffering from gender issues are suffering from psychological disorders that need treatment and not surgery. So, you know, my life is just a testimony to the fact that you can't change somebody's gender with surgery.
Throughout life, Walt had felt uncomfortable in his own skin. He went on to get married and have a family, but in his 40s realised he was living a lie.
This is Laura after the gender change. This is Laura after the gender
At 42, Walt underwent surgery and became Laura. 8 years later, depressed and despairing, he changed back. In the process, he lost his wife, became estranged from his children, and was left with the results of an operation that was irreversible.
The way I betrayed my children by switching genders is reprehensible, and it meant that how selfish I was.
These days, Walt's the happiest he's ever been. No longer Laura. At 72 years old, he's finally comfortable with being a man. Walt says his story should serve as a warning to others.
Why all of a sudden do we have all these people with gender issues? I can tell you, because we're promoting it. We're making it fashionable. And, you know, kids are going to be left without a real childhood because people aren't reinforcing who they are in their gender that they were born with.